Hi guys, it's Luetin here, and I got some more Battlefield 3 for you today. What we've been looking at is defending on Metro, and the real purpose of this video, this actually carries on from the video I was looking at before with LMG defending, but the main reason for this video is to show how you can defend when you literally only have got one squad that is actually working properly as a team together and the rest are all blue members. Now I would say that it's true that on Metro it's a little bit easier to do that than on other maps. However, the principle is sound, and with a little bit of support from your actual blue teammates you may fare better on other maps with this kind of mentality than other. So that's what we're really looking at today. You'll notice a few weird little cuts in the video at the start here. It's because my HD PVR sometimes it can just freak out a little bit, and it doesn't happen very often, I have to say, but it can happen from time to time, and in this one it basically gets kind of like a little interruption, so I've just cut out, it just freezes for like half a sec, you know, so I've just cut out a couple of little stills here and there as we've gone along. So yeah, this video when we're talking about defending, now it's interesting as well that the last video that I posted talking about the LMG with the M240B, which we'll see a little bit later on, I was using that on this first base in one of the other videos, and people were going, oh, you're camping, you're not pushing forward, you're not giving them a chance to actually get engaged with you and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, but you see, what I was doing there is what we'll see on the second base of this map. Okay, what I was doing was creating a kind of a sort of a second guard, a buffer as it were, so that the first guys can get up front and then you are a buffer point. Now you can see that, you see these guys all locked down in here together, and I'm really moving up, getting in the mix, trying to put the pressure on them, prevent them from moving forward and moving up. Now if you sit too far back, now it's interesting as well that on the other video that I posted with the LMG, you see that my guys had kind of pushed forward. Now look where everyone is positioned right now. They're behind the objectives. Now, I've said this before in other videos, is that if you sit too far behind objectives, you do need some people, like one or two people sitting behind an objective, but for the most part you do need a good sort of at least 3/4 of your team probably to move in front of the objective. The reason for that is that if there's nobody in front of the objective, there's no buffer, there's no wall preventing your attackers from moving forward. You need to have people up front to stop them getting right onto the objective. Now, okay, you can say, well, we'll just shoot them as they come in, you know, we'll take them out as they get to the objective. The majority of the times that won't happen. What will happen is that they will use the ability, the freedom they have to move up in all different directions, flank you, clear you out, and they'll be able to push right up onto that objective. They'll be doing what they're doing right here, dropping tons of smoke, grenades. It's going to make it very difficult for you. But moving forward in front, that's going to make it more easy, because even if a couple of your guys get taken out up front, then as they get taken out, more people can move forward, and you create this kind of constantly replenishing sort of flow rate, as it were. And that's actually a whole video in itself that I wanted to make, which will be coming up when I can find the time to do it. But you can see right now I'm doing my very best to stop these guys, but if you look around me, there's not many people around me to help support, and I don't even want to just get on this defusing because I know it's so heavy in terms of things. We've got a couple of guys running in here now that it's been cleared out. Got that disarmed, but when I was actually engaging the guys right at the start there, I literally only had about one person behind me. Get up this damn wall, come on. There we go. But you can see as well that over here, whilst I was dealing with B, there really has been very little work done on A. Nobody has really been getting in on this, and by the time I actually get to it, it's too late. We even had like 3 or 4 blue guys around there, but they just seem to not be willing to really get on it and do that. You can still see that our team is outnumbered, but if you actually have the time to look, you can see on the scoreboard there that my squad is pretty much the only squad to have actually scored. The other defenders that we're playing with have not even really gained one kill pretty much for the most part. They have done literally nothing so far. And this is the difficulty when playing with blue team members. But we keep holding on to B, holding on to B. When you've got a whole team obviously on one objective, that can really help you out because you don't have to spread around so much. However, as I have mentioned before, a categorical mistake that people regularly make when they're trying to defend, and you can see now this is starting to happen, is that what happens when people have one base left, they all kind of start to concentrate too much on that one base and they pull in too tight. If you pull in too tight on a base, what's going to happen is that they will move all around you in the other directions. So it's really important that you stay spread out. And look, this is happening right now. See, we've got guys all over here on the left hand side. It looks like we've got a sniper up there on the left, but again, he really seems to be doing very little. So overall what we could really be using here is people spreading out a little bit, but I mean from looking at the scoreboard what we could also do with is our team actually getting some kills. Now that kind of leads us on to the second part of this video really. Now things haven't gone particularly well in this first base, as can often be the case, and our team have really let us down, and people are going to be saying, well Luetin, you're always complaining about your team. Yeah, well, I'm 18-4. I don't see the rest of the team on 18-4, and I don't see the rest of the team having disarmed the target multiple times already. So I think I'm open to be able to criticise the rest of my team who are barely scored, to be honest. So my squad has pretty much been doing most of the work here. We're carrying the rest of the guys, and they're so far out from the objective. Look, there was only 2 guys over here on the left hand side, but right now we have at least what I could see there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blue guys. Do we really need 5 people to just deal with those couple of small guys sort of flanking us? Honestly, we really didn't need that. And even now, look, they're right next to the objective and they haven't moved back here. I've moved around, cleared out 2 guys. If they had moved over here, perhaps we might have been able to maintain a little bit. I just wanted to hang around here, try and sort of put a bit of pressure on these guys moving up, try and stop their advance a little bit, seeing as I was still up, and also it's one of these maps I know I'm pretty sure that they're not going to be able to run up too quickly and get onto our base, so I was fairly confident that I could hang around here for a second. I got 1 kill anyway. There we are, look at the scoreboard there, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Half my team has barely even got 1 kill. That pretty much says it all. So how can we turn this around? How can we go from a round which has been absolutely so awful into a round which we are successful? Well, at this stage, right now I was talking to Traeger and Jizza and also Brutal, who I didn't know at the time, but he's an excellent player and it'd be good to get some more games with. So what do we do here? Well, first of all, I'm going to use my blue team to my own advantage. I'm going to allow them to be kind of cannon fodder, as it will. I don't have any confidence whatsoever that they're going to do any better than they did in the first round, but what I am going to do is use them, as I say, as a kind of upfront buffer system for myself. I'm also going to be doing that with Traeger and Jizza. Now what we've done here is we've been communicating and deciding what position and role we're going to play at this point. We've got a little bit of time to sort of think and decide what we're going to do. As I say, it's much easier to do this on Metro than on some other maps. However, it can be applied to other maps. Maps like, for example, Sharky Peninsula can work very well on Sharky Peninsula. It can work very well on certain bases, like even on Nashar Canals, on the sort of 3rd MCOM base there. You can work well with that role. So I've cut a section of this out as well because there was not a lot happening. I was sitting here for a very long amount of time. But I'll just explain. Basically, as I say, we had a load of blue guys up in front. As they slowly get killed off, I can see where the enemy are coming from, so I'm using them as a tool to allow me to see. Also, they'll slow down the enemy and take them down, wear them down a little bit in the process, or getting killed themselves. I'm just literally doing this, sitting here waiting for the enemy to come in, and in doing so, as I say, this is what you're doing. You're creating a second buffer zone. So we've got all the blue guys up the front, and if they manage to hold off the enemy, excellent, they've done a good job, they've stopped the enemy from getting through. If they don't do that, then I'm here to prevent them from getting through, and in the process, whilst I'm laying down the fire, all the blue guys, you can see exactly what's happening. They've all rezzed up, respawned, and now they're going to move back in front. So we've got like a 2-stage buffer to prevent the enemy from getting through. And then on the right hand side, that's also what Traego's doing. Traego's taking the role over on the right hand side with a sniper role, and he's spotting targets, allowing and talking to the team. Now, if Traego suddenly gets killed, and you can see he goes down right there, we know that we've got enemy in that area, and also I can obviously keep looking at my minimap, see where people are getting spotted and so on and so on. Now we can see on the right hand side here that there's nobody up. Traego is communicating with me, and I think in a moment I'm going to sort of decide to move over there because of that. But basically this is what it's all about. You're using your squad to sit back and not push forward, instead of pushing forward. Now if we as a squad pushed forward, what's going to happen is that there's going to be certain areas which are weaker than others, and in doing so, that's going to mean that we're probably going to have people flank past, and as soon as they get past you, you're going to lose that situation, you're going to lose control of the situation. The important thing is to maintain calm, discipline and control. Now I was moving around here, oh that's right, I was talking, Traego wanted to know sort of how far back to sit, and I was saying that this is about the distance that I like to sit, because he was worried he was too far forward. Where I was showing him there, okay, it may not have the best cover, but it does allow you to kind of see people coming forward, which is what I'm doing here. If I was further forward than this, okay, it's going to be difficult for me to keep that area covered, but if you sit the correct distance back, it allows you to cover the area in front of you without being too close to the enemy that is becoming overly dangerous for yourself. And you can see we've got Jizz up here on the right, he's supporting the guys, and so you can see pretty much what's going on here. It's not rocket science, it's very straightforward, but it's just that a lot of people don't have the discipline to actually sit back and do this. A lot of people are so obsessed with moving forward and getting the kills that they don't do this. What happens when they do that is, as you can see, they all move forward, they all have lots of problems, they all go down, and then once those guys are down, there is nothing between the attackers and the MCOM. So that's why it's important to, even if it's just one person out of your team, which is me right now, me and Trego. And you can see this has exactly happened again. As I say, it wasn't the best kill, but I still put him down. And even if I didn't put him down, I could still move in there, probably stop him, slow him down, stop him maybe arming that objective. And that's all you're doing. You're creating a buffer, your stopgap for the guys who have broken through that line. And in the process, okay, my other blue guys rezzed up again and they've moved back in. So this whole role is working as a second buffer. Try this out if you've not done it before, okay? Go into a game, try this out. Let everyone else sit up front, just sit back, take it easy, you know, come back here, sit and cover the area in and see what impact it has on your game as opposed to moving forward and running up. Now you might say that Metro, as we've said already, is the perfect round for doing this on. It is, of course it is. You've got these horrific bottlenecks running down, it's a lot easier to manage. But let's think about what other maps it could work on. It would definitely work on Damavan Peak, no problem at all. It'll work on certain maps on Karkand. It would work on the third base on Karkand, no problem at all doing this setup here. You have got a lot of routes in on the third base on Karkand, but you can actually get to strategic positions and cover all those provided you know those positions. It'll work on a lot of different maps. Sharkey, like I've said, it'll work on Sharkey at pretty much the first and second base of Sharkey, no worries at all. Wake Island, it'll work on Wake Island, no problem. So there's loads of maps. Only the biggest, most open maps this isn't going to work on, stuff like Caspian and Oman, but for the most of the other maps, again, Grand Bazaar of this tactic would work absolutely no problem whatsoever. So there's a lot of maps where this is going to work, and it's the point is that obviously on the first base on Metro, you see I was playing a very different role, but then when we came back to here, well, I know that the squad itself can control the situation. That's when we take on these roles, change out our classes and get set up to take this one on. So I hope this has been a good little explanation. As I say, the guys came in here, I did take one target out, couldn't get the last one, and then in the end we were successful, they got it disarmed. But I think it shows how a good squad can back up the rest of a Blueberry team. And let's not forget, don't forget how horrific the very first section of this base was. Half our team had barely even scored, and yet we went from that into turning. Look, even here you see the final scoreboard. We've got people in the middle there on about 10 kills, not doing too bad. People at the bottom doing pretty bad. But it's very impressive that you could go from such a horrific domination into a winning situation, and quite a comfortable win at that. So try and think about this. Interested in your comments as always, and if you've enjoyed this one, guys, please give me a rate, share, subscribe. See you for some more Battlefield 3 very soon.